Hello again, it's Amy Taylor with Just a Little Ink. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I love sharing the things I learn with others. Today I'd like to share with you a card that I made following along again with the freshly made sketches, this time number 466, and I'll have links on my blog, justalittle.ink.com, to that website so that you can look at all the other options that are there. Many people join in, as I've mentioned before, and I find it's a great way to kind of challenge myself especially when I'm struggling to come up with ideas. And so for this particular card, I am using some sneak peek products that will be in the January to June, if I'm saying it correctly. We've changed some things in Stampin' Up. Mini catalog. Yes, the January to June 2021 mini catalog. And I am going to be using the Welcoming Window stamp set, as well as the Window Flower Box dies. They're available starting January the 5th as a bundle. And then I'm also, for the inside greeting, going to use a greeting out of the Massive Thanks stamp set. So let's get started. For this card, you don't need a lot. I'm following a simple sketch, and so I'm using a piece of Whisper White thick cardstock. I'm using a piece 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, and I'll have the measurements again on my blog, of some Misty Moonlight. And you only need one of these. I'm going to show you why I have two. You need some scraps, and I'm using Whisper White. Whisper White is something that is going away because of some issues with a manufacturing facility that Stampin' Up! Has used that ended up closing. So it was out of Stampin' Up!'s control, and they are in the process of replacing our Whisper White with something that they're going to be calling Basic White. And then also I have a piece of Designer Series paper, 3 inches by, I believe it's 4 3/4 inch, and it is from the In Good Taste Designer Series paper. I wanted something kind of rustic, and it's got all kinds of wood images or tile images. I'm going to use the wood. And so let me show you. So what I did on the card I've shown you here is a simpler option. I'm going to show you 2 different options. For it, I used our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I used the brick and mortar folder. So I'm going to show you that first. And pull in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I need for this, I need my platform 1. I do not need number 2 that comes with it. I need my folder. I'm going to take one and I'm going to stick it in. I like lining it up when I'm doing it this direction along that edge. You want the fold of the folder in first. Then I need number 4. I'm going to roll it through. Comes out the other end. Just doing that to stack things. I'll get them out of the way. When I open it up, then I get an embossed piece of bricks. Set that out of the way. So that would be one option. It's the quick, simple option. A secondary option is to take the bricks stamp that comes in the Welcoming Window stamp set, and I'm going to use some Misty Moonlight, so tone on tone. And I don't want it covered completely with bricks. I want it to look like the bricks are peeking through. And I'm going to use one of my small blotter sheets is what I call it. I know that's not the name of it. I'm going to start up at the corner and I'm going to stamp, and it's meant to kind of layer in, and I'm just going to come across a little bit, lining things up. And then I'm going to come in from the bottom and do the same thing. Kind of come up. The point being, I don't want it covered. I just want some of the ink showing, some of the bricks. So this would be a secondary option. And for today, I'm going to use this option. So then I need all of the other pieces. So I'm going to put my piece of designer series paper underneath. You're barely going to poke a little in. And I need my Stampin' seal. I'm going to roll just enough on the top, just enough on the bottom. Kind of line up. I get just a peek of that coming on the bottom. Sometimes. One of the things I like about our new Stampin' Seal is it gives a little bit of wiggle room. So I need I'm blending in too much with my background. I'm going to come in and pull it up here so that I overlap. There we go. So I've got an overlap. Get this out of the way. Then I'm going to stamp my window. And so I've got my window stamp. Ink it up. There we go. I'm using our Tuxedo Black Memento ink for that, and I'll just set that out of the way. I also want to make a flower pot in the window box, and so I'm going to use our cinnamon cider because I think it makes a great clay pot. So I'm going to stamp here, ink it up. Can't help but have trash day be very annoying today, so if you're hearing the trash trucks in the neighborhood, that is why. Again, I'll stamp that there. I'm going to get this out of the way. And then there's this corner stamp that's leaves. Then I'm going to use some Mossy Meadow. Ink it up, and it hangs just along the top and the side of my pot, like so. I'll leave this, kind of set it aside. I will need it again here. I'm going to pull back out my Misty Moonlight. And I've got the thank you stamp, and I'm going to stamp it in my window box. Keeps my layers minimal. Up here on this corner, like so. Then I'm going to set this aside. I need to cut that out with the coordinating dies. From my scrap, I'm going to stamp the flower pot. And I'm stamping it in Misty Moonlight. Then I can get Misty Moonlight out of the way for the moment. I will need it again in a minute. Then I also need the greenery, which again I'm going to be using on the scrap. I'm going to use the Mossy Meadow ink. This is a two-step stamp. This stamp set reminds me so much of color forms from when I was a little girl. So I've stamped the greenery. It's out of the way. And I need some Calypso Coral because it's a color I chose. You could use any color you want. There are flowers that then fit in these little openings, and it does it so quickly. I've been so impressed. So I just need to see over the top. You're one of those kind of stampers. Like so. I got off a little bit, but it's not too bad. You don't notice too bad. I'm going to keep that one. And so then I've got my pieces, and I can cut them out using, again, my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So I'm going to pull off the parts I don't need. See if I can lift it up and not make a big crash. All right. So for this, I do need my number 1. I need the number 2. I need a cutting plate, and I use 1 all the time as the bottom. So then I can cut some of these at the same time. I can layer it up. I'm not sure how much you're seeing here. So there is a rectangle will fit here. And it doesn't have an exact straight line. It's a little curvy. I'm going to line it up, and what I'm going to use to kind of keep everything from shifting around on me, I'm going to use some leftover retired washi tape. And this is just to keep everything from shifting on me. And then I can scoot that to one side, and I can line up on here my flower pot or my water jug. It's going to end up being my flower pot. Again, I'm going to use a piece of washi to keep things from moving on me. Here, and then I need my die that goes over my flowers. And so, gonna get everything kind of lined up. We'll see how well I do. I so often do better when I'm not in front of a camera for all of this. Kind of like when I'm in front of you and I am doing it in person. No different, really. All right. So I'm going to put, again, a piece of washi there. Then I need my my second plate, my number 3 on top. And then I can run them through all at the same time. And we'll see how well I did. Okay, put this here, get rid of the machine. I'm looking forward to getting my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. It'll be available for you to order on January the 5th. So I've got my pot. Didn't work out too bad. Set these aside here. So I'm going to pull off. I didn't do too bad. Set that one away. Set aside my scrap here. And again, pull off. Gently pull there, not too bad again. Keep all my little scraps together so that I can put everything together. So, in order to assemble my pot and make it only look like a pot, I'm going to use multi-purpose liquid glue. I'm going to put a little bit of glue at the bottom of my flowers. Pick up my flowers on top of my vase or water pot. So I just want it to look like it's a pot. Okay, like so. I've got my parts in my pieces. I'm going to fold my half sheet of cardstock base in half. Pull out my bone folder like so. So I'm going to attach this first. This goes down flat. I'm just using Stampin' Seal. So I'm going to line up. The layout came here. Okay. And use some more Stampin' Seal on my window box, or my window frame, excuse me. I'm going to stick it down a little ways. So, and then I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals, and I've just got some along the edge that I've snipped because I use every little bit of my dimensionals. So I'm going to pick up just a few, and maybe 4 of them. Like that, put them on the back. Get a lot of use out of your dimensionals that way. Get rid of my pieces. And then I wanted this down here at my base. So I'm going to set it down so it's just sitting in the front of the house, like so. I already have thank you, so then I'm going to open up on the inside, and I told you again I'm going to do a little stamping on the inside, not a lot, just a little. And so I'm going to take my bricks again, and I'm going to do just the littlest bit of stamping on the inside. A little here, come in on the lower section like so, and then I want to do a greeting for the inside, and I liked the one that said I usually just send a text, but this calls for a card. And so I'm going to line it up, put it up in the center, and we'll see how well I did on lining it up. Not too bad, like so. And just like that, you have a fairly simple card. I hope you've enjoyed this, and if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would so appreciate it if you would click on the bell and subscribe so you can catch all the videos that I do. I try to do 2 a week. Christmas break, I've been off a little bit because I've had family in town. And if you don't already have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. You can place an order anytime at justalittleinc.stampinup.net. And I hope to see you next time. Have a wonderful day.